Hello, I'm Dan Elzy, and I'd like to thank you for taking the time today to watch this video. The horse I'm using is Shadow. Now, Shadow is a 4-year-old quarter horse mare that came from a large ranch in West Texas, where she was used to roaming freely and not having much contact with people. She came to me halter broke, and well, that's being generous. The first time we put her in the round pen, I thought she was going to jump over me and jump over the pen and be gone. But as you can tell, in 45 days of training, she has come a very, very long way. I like working a horse at liberty in the round pen. It gives them the freedom to make mistakes, but it also gives them the accountability to do what you're asking them to do in the time frame that you're asking them to do it. Sometimes the best thing for the inside of a man is the outside of a horse. That's a quote from Ronald Reagan, and that is one quote that I really believe and is really dear to me. I grew up in the Midwest in Amish country, where I learned to work with horses at a young age, and my mom and dad would put me on a horse while they were working in the garden or in the field, just to keep me out of trouble. And when I was 2 or 3 years old, I would ride that horse until he got tired of me and dumped me on the ground, and then stared over at me as I was on the ground, looking at me like, "What are you doing down there?" Well, since then, I have decided that I love working with horses and people, and I love getting these horses to respond in a manner where people can enjoy them and have as much fun with them as I do. Now, I don't believe that horse training is just a specific method or technique. It can be more the development of a feel for the horse and getting to know each horse that is worked as an individual. And as you look at your horse, you may notice that they look at you with a questioning manner in their eyes, or they cock an ear a certain way, or they stand on a leg a certain way. And that's all just getting to know what your horse is saying to you. The best line of communication to that horse is with your eyes. Look at that horse, see what it's doing. Make sure your eye contact is secure with them, so they know what to expect from you. Make sure your cues are concise, so they know what they are supposed to be doing at any given time. Horses are big animals. Sometimes they can use that power against you and you end up on the ground. That's not a good place to be, but it's where you learn a lot of lessons. The more times that you hit the ground, the better your groundwork becomes. I learned that at a young age. My father got me a 3-year-old horse when I was 8 years old, and this 3-year-old had been ridden 2 or 3 times. And my dad said if I wanted a horse to ride, I needed to figure it out with her. And I'm happy to say I did figure it out with her. It wasn't always pretty, and we didn't always do everything right, but we did figure it out, and we had a wonderful relationship for many, many years after that. In fact, I took her to horse shows during middle school and high school and had a great time with that one. Now, as we move into the arena, I like to work a horse in the arena just to get a feel for them. I like to work them at a brisk trot because I think that means they're being energetic and responsive at the same time. And I always like to work a horse forward, back, to the left, and to the right, always making their feet move until I say it's okay to stop. And always going the speed that I want them to until I'm telling them, okay, you can slow down, or it's time to go faster. But I want them to know that I'm the one giving the cues, and they are listening to me, And that's how this partnership needs to work. Now, there is some give and take. I do feel what the horse is doing when they're trying to anticipate the cue, when they're trying to please me even before I ask for it. And that's when you reassure them and get them steadied to wait for the next cue. Suppling is also a very important part of any training that you do, either in the arena or outside on the trail, either one. As you pull a horse's head around and get them to feel your rein and feel that communication, and you develop a light touch and they develop a light feel for the rein. That way, when you are riding and you give them that slightest touch, they can just relax into your bit and know what you're trying to tell them. Now, I have found that giving cues in the saddle and the seat are very, very important. As you can tell by this point, I love working with horses, and I enjoy working with people. I want people to enjoy the horses as much as I do. And if you would like a positive experience with your horse like that, please contact me at elzyequestrian@gmail.com.